Check, check, and check. We'll hit them with the threes, the twos, the ones. Action. We rolling. Say Something family. Welcome back to another episode, another show. We in the building. Got my man Money Mitch to the left. As you can see, we got a new guest here today. As we told you about, he was gonna be on his way, and he's here. We're gonna give him the Say Something clap. It's my boy Arick in the building. We're going to get full introductions going right now, but I wanted to make sure I gave a little 1-2 punch in there to make sure you guys know what we got going with the special today. So we got Kings Talk coming in. It's going to be a different vibe, a little NBA heavy today, but it's going to be awesome. We got an amazing guest, so fun times ahead like we promised. Let's get to it, but before that, we got our intros out of the way, and now we got to do our tradition, our check-in. Make sure everything's cool, copacetic across the board. Mitch, how you feeling today? What's going on?
Man, doing good. Had a great Thanksgiving. Everything was good. So much food. Got my leftovers at the house. About to smack our nose when we're done here. Got to do it. Happy to be with my boy Arick over here.
Yes, sir.
Got some more perspective out here. So I'm excited to get to talking, especially about these Kings, man.
Absolutely. Arick, how you doing? Check in with the fam. Let them know what's going on.
Yeah, first time being on here. Feeling good. I appreciate, the gesture of y'all inviting me on here.
Absolutely.
Like you said, Thanksgiving was fantastic. Got to spend time with the family, laughs, eat good food. Got some sweet potato pie at the house. So crazy. I'm just glad to be here with the Say Something family, with my boys, Mitch and Ben. And we gonna get to it.
Yep.
I got you on them Kings for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to make sure we're getting them in here. You know what I'm saying? Frequently as he can be, because there's always new Kings talks and just always new perspectives to be had. So alongside Mitch, we're gonna make sure we're adding him into the fold where we can. So be on the lookout for that for sure. In terms of myself, man, I'm doing good. I feel good about kind of ending this break, getting ready for school, getting ready to get back into the grind of things again, back into the trenches. I had a good break, got to kind of rejuvenate myself. What I was expecting was a self-care week. What I got was a self-care week. So check, and check. And then like these guys are saying, Thanksgiving, great time. Very small event for me this year, which was actually kind of what I needed. I feel like the more intimate setting allowed for obviously more food, bigger plates, right? But also like different conversation, more in-depth conversation this year with people that I may not have had a chance to have a conversation with in other years because the team was just too big, too much going on. So it was a different feel, but really fun and always good to get a good home-cooked meal. So I'm excited. I'm thankful to be back here with you guys, back here with my boys, ready to talk some sports, ready to get down to business.
Yes, sir.
So let's get to today's agenda. We got the NBA. We're going to start off with our side of things, the Dubs, the Warriors. You guys know what's going on here on this channel, Big Dub Talk. Yes, and then we're going to let him rock and roll over to the cousins, the bros down the way, the Sac Kings. So we'll start it off, get it going. We're cooling off a little bit here.
Yep.
Kind of like Mitch has talked about, unsustainable percentages. Things were blown out of proportion a little bit in terms of how good we were at shooting. I still think we're that good of a shooting team, but also what we talked about, free throws, worst in the league, turnovers,
terrible.
We're up there, right? And when we talk about turnovers, we're also talking clutch time turnovers, not just regular turnovers all first quarter. No, we're talking like when we need it.
Down 5, we need to start scoring, and we just throw it, and then they score 7 points. Have a turnover or two. Back to back, it gets ugly towards the late time game.
Nasty. Kings of the Swings is not what we so happen to be this year. Right. We so happen to be handing them out. Just here, you want a good momentum shift? Take it. So that seems to be plummeting. What still is good play. We've maintained competitive.
Yeah.
We've been in the competition every time, and unfortunately, it just seems like end of the game. We haven't figured out lineups. We're still struggling to work all that out. And then, of course, you also got, really, at the end of the day, we don't know who our number 2 option is. And so when that comes into play, there's a beauty in getting it from different guys every night. And then we're starting to see the downsides of not knowing, okay, that uncertainty is now starting to hurt us. I also think Steph Curry has been a little dinged up here,
Right.
which has definitely changed the flow of things. But our size also has been coming into play as we've preached on this channel. So, Mitch, why don't you talk a little bit about, just what you're seeing and how you feel about, the trajectory without, obviously jumping completely off shit. But
yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's becoming more and more apparent that we're probably going to need to make a move.
Mhm.
Some of the guys that we're expecting to take the next step and be kind of leaders, or like you're talking about, second best players or guys who can rely on the score on, they're just not having it for us this time. And the last 3 games, we're on a losing streak. We played the Thunder, we played the Brooklyn Nets, and we played the Spurs. 2 of those teams, the Spurs and the Brooklyn Nets,
yeah,
they haven't been good teams. So losing to them is really tough. Thunder is kind of understandable. No Steph Curry, and they're already playing with Shea and some good guys over there. Yeah. So it's tough. But yeah, playing against the Thunder, how we're talking about, we had 14 turnovers in that game. No Steph Curry, and Kuminga, when he's playing, he scored 19 points on 8 of 21 shooting, which is a lot to be desired. Leaves a lot to be desired. Yep. Also, 15 and 21 from the free throw line. These aren't games where we're getting blown out. They're close games where these free throws, if we're shooting more in the 80 and 90% rather than 70 and 60%, would really help us. The Brooklyn game, we can't let guys like Dennis Schroeder go for 31 points. I mean, no matter how good he may be, when we're playing against the Nets, they don't have other options besides like Cam Thomas.
And we're such a good perimeter defending team.
Yeah, so really to have Dennis Schroeder going off on us while we have 12 turnovers, no Kuminga through illness, and 3 of 12 from Buddy Hield. Another thing that has changed for us, where he was shooting about 50% now, like we talked about before, is coming down. And then against the Spurs, Draymond, we've been expecting more than 1 point from you.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? We can't win if you're giving us 1 point.
Yeah.
You were making threes. Let's try and get that more consistent. Let's get around 10 points a game, 9 points a game. When you're going 0 for 5 from the field, you're not really providing anything for us. 10 turnovers and then 8 of 13, 60% from the line. Just makes it tough for wins. Pretty much showing how much we kind of need a big man or some kind of wing to really start the scoring off for us or have that presence down low.
Absolutely. I mean, if we're going to shoot that poorly from the free throw line, we might as well have a big. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that was the whole point of us going small, was we were going to be shooting well across the board.
Right.
And
especially the free ones, right?
Yeah. And like Mitch is saying, a lot of these have swung games. I mean, if you look at the point total, we're competitive. So we're in the games. And we're losing by less than what we've missed very often at the free throw line.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's 105, 101 to the Thunder, 128, 120 to the Nets, and 104 to 94 to the Spurs. It's like a lot of those 3-pointers and free throws and a lot of those turnovers that could lead to buckets for us. We're just not getting it done towards the clutch time.
Absolutely. So do you think that a trade is inevitable with this squad? I know we got depth. I know that's going down, but all the number 2 scoring concerns.
It's just going to be interesting who we're going to get and who we're going to give up at this point.
True.
Like, who do we try and give up on? Is it like, obviously DeAnthony Melton is going to be gone. We've already talked about how he's going to be in a trade package. But who's going to be going along with him, and what are we going to, like, which kind of player are we going for? Are we going for maybe 2 solid players that can fill in roles, or are we trying to go for a splash and get somebody big?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that a trade is inevitable. I think that, kind of like what Mitch is saying, the scale of it remains to be seen. Truly, what magnitude we're going to try to shape this thing out to becoming. But I think that, at this point, this roster, it's just lacking certain things. It's really good, and the depth is there, but I think that repetitive depth can be utilized in other ways to create, gaps being closed potentially. And so I'm looking, sadly, guys like Podziemski are just not playing well, right? And so we've played him up to be the next thing for us. And the way he's been playing, it's like everybody's like, well, thank God we didn't take a flyer on that.
Right. That's what I was saying before. We should give that man.
And I do think that he'll bounce back, but I think that that's also a big part of what we have to wait on, is we got to let these pieces look like what we think they can look like to sell them. And I think that the early run was doing it. It was just weird that we've been doing all this and we've had guys who have been producing terribly. like Pods is like one of these guys who I believe should be producing at least at an efficient rate, regardless of what the numbers say.
Right.
And, this guy is barely even showing up night to night. We seem to not still figure out how to get Moses Moody a consistent 28 minutes.
That's the tough thing when we're playing with strength in numbers, right?
Right.
When we have to just pick and choose who's going to be hot that night. It's tough to stay consistent as
tough.
a player when it's like, all right, is it going to be you? No, you come out after 5 minutes or go back in. You got 14 minutes and you went over 2. Maybe we shouldn't play the next game. It just gets kind of tough, and that's why it's hard to stay consistent for that long. And that's why I kind of figured we regress a little bit and kind of, see our flaws when the shots weren't going in.
Yeah. I also think that once we work out this starting 5, I think this team can then start building. I think it's really impressive that we are winning, fluctuating our starting lineup and our bench and our rotations the way that we are. So, you like Mitch is saying, there's going to be some regression in the time where you're still experimenting. But hopefully they can figure that out sooner than later. And in my opinion, we're going to have to look mid-season at once all the rosters open up to see, who's truly there to assess if a trade is warranted.
Right.
But, I do think that when you're looking across the West, I think this roster can compete with anybody. Can they feel confident in them pushing past the top teams? I don't think so with this roster because of what we're speaking of. There aren't enough different ways that we can beat you.
Yeah.
We got to play our way. And if we do, finally we are back into the mode where we can beat you that way. But we still aren't multidimensional in the sense that if you take us out of our game, we're not ready to meet you there.
Right.
Where you're
Andrew
trying.
Wiggins isn't ready to take over by driving to the hole.
Right.
Kuminga's not ready to take over and start going to the basket.
I will say shout out to the Wiggins, though, for your revival. I mean, honestly, I think you're maybe the biggest reason as to why we're back in the position we're back in, because we got used to you being nothing last year. And to be that kind of name, that kind of guy, and be just nothing, just to even see what it's like for you to be kind of back in your groove, very large impact. So we'll keep you guys updated. There are rumors floating around. I would just circle back to Chicago like my man has been saying a lot. Call Mitch, make the call. He'll warm things up. He'll get things going. Steve, no problems, man. No problems. You hit my man's line. He'll already have the things laid out, no strings attached, okay? We're getting Vooch. We bringing Vooch to the Bay, okay? You heard it here first on the Say Something fam, but I feel like, the Say Something show has got to break news like that if we do get it, because he's been on it first. But Vooch will be perfect, man. And throw us in or something else. I mean, I don't think we can get Levine out of there too. But I'll take Lonzo. I'll take the injured goods.
For the discount.
No Lonzo on that discount Black Friday deal.
Yes, sir.
We'll take them. We'll take them, and we'll figure out how to revive careers. We've done more with less.
Ankles.
We've done more with ankles. We've done more with less. We've done more with less, for real. So
we have the technology.
Right. Come to the Bay. We'll get you glued up, literally. But that be on the lookout. Like we said, if there's anything that rumbles up, we'll have you covered in these next shows. But that's pretty much where we're at. We're still up there in the rankings. Are we third?
12-6.
12-6.
First in the Pacific.
First in the Pacific. And are we third overall in the West? Or is
third overall.
Right. So still doing well. Don't look at us and think, oh, they're pessimistic. We're just trying to point out the ebbs and flows of the season, right? And we're trying to point out when we're up, what's making us up. When we're down, some of the things that are possibly happening to make those wins turn to losses.
And it's because we've also been blessed to have the times where we didn't even have to think about it. We just knew we was going to win.
Yeah.
So that's why we're being so critical now, because we had that.
And vice versa. We also had the
and
time
we also had the 20
we knew we would lose. So we feel everybody in the league, okay? All the way from Boston to Washington. Okay? We got you. We know what it's like. We're going to shake over to, like we said, to the special we got going. Kings Nation, Light the Beam, which hasn't been lit as often as some may have thought this year so far. Man. So let's get right into it. Like we said, Arick with an A, just so y'all know, has got shit cooking up. Let him cook. So we're going to start it off. Break it down, man. What's going on? Give him a little update. How we feeling?
My Kings favorite. We're not feeling all that great. I'm going to keep it a buck. We got a lot to talk about. This season right now has not been going as we would have liked. We had a little glimpse, a couple years back. We made it to the playoffs. We were a top team in the West. We was thinking we was doing something.
Right. Number one offense.
Boy, got humble quick.
Yes.
Next season, jack. This season, just as bad. We
Just
don't know
as bad.
what we're doing out there.
Yeah.
We have a few things. One, top of the list, DeMar. We love you. Great that you came over and helped us. However, I need you to be on the floor to play, my boy.
Right.
Like, you can't. I understand lower back tightness. You're getting old. I mean, you up there in the age. I understand. But you're still a bucket.
Yeah.
But we still need you on that court. So I don't know if you need to get some icy hot, some treatment, some ice on the back,
Right.
somebody to rub you down.
That Kaiser.
Get it together, brother. Because we need you on the court. We can't have you off the court. Because outside of you and Fox, we ain't got nobody. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I love DeMontis. You're a good facilitator. You do your thing. You can turn up every now and then. Keegan, Murray. We was really hoping that you was gonna take that big step, and I understand.
Right.
This, having DeMar on the team, is gonna settle some of the scoring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be the 20-point scorer or 15 like you were last year.
Right.
We understand that. However, we brought you in because of your 3-point shooting. Sir, you can't be shooting under 30% from the field from three. That's wild. That doesn't make no sense for you to be a starter, and we brought you in specifically to go ahead and fill in the point of shooting threes, and you're shooting under 30%. It makes me feel like how Kevin was last year. Kevin Horter, he was hooping in that first year. Second year, disappeared. It's like he didn't even know how to shoot a basketball.
Red velvet.
And we were hurting. And as you can see, if any of my Kings faithfuls have watched any of the games, we look lost.
Oh, boy.
We ain't got no team idea.
9-10.
We are 9-10, 11th in the West.
Woo!
We don't know if we want to be playing fast. We don't know if we want to play slow. We don't know if we want to play defense. Do we want to take a night off? We got to figure it out. Somebody pick it up. You know what I'm saying? De'Aaron, he's trying his best. Unfortunately, he's doing it so he can sell himself to other teams because he didn't sign a contract extension with us. So we are contractor bust. We got a playoff bust at this point. If we don't make the playoffs, I unfortunately think that Fox is going to be out of there. And if we lose Fox,
hot take.
we're going to be real. We're going to be right back to where we was these past, 15 years before we made the playoffs again?
Vlade Divac land.
Woo! Vlade, you did us dirty, Coach. You did us dirty. There's so much we can talk about that in terms of picks that we missed out on, but we're not going to get into that.
Right, we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get
you
there.
Sacramento Kings fans, we missed a lot. But I think that we need to go ahead and make sure that we find the identity. Whatever we did that couple years back when you hired Mike Brown, we need to run that back.
Yeah,
whatever offense we was running, we need to run that back
Yeah.
and get back to it. If it's running up and down the court, being fast playing, shooting threes, I need my 3-point shooters to shoot, make the score. We got the clutch time players. We got De'Aaron. We got DeMar. You already know fourth quarter, they're going to show up every time, and they're going to get to it. However, we need to stay in the game for the majority of the time, and then the players and the team that we should be banging, we don't even need to play around with them. Like, 9 times out of 10, most of the games this year have been very close.
Yeah.
We have not been blowing nobody out of the water. We have not been like, oh, they're clearly the best team out there. No, we have been out here battling, scraping, tooth and nails to try to make it to wherever we're trying to get to.
Right.
Just to win by 2 points, 3
It
points.
says your point differential is 0.8.
Exactly. 0.8. We barely getting over the hump, and that's on every team. That's good teams and bad teams. We can't just be doing that.
Right.
We can't just play to the level of our competition. This is
Right.
basketball. You gotta play to your level, and we know that we can play up to a high level because we've seen it before. We were one of the top teams way back when, a couple of seasons back, so we can't get. And we just added a 25-point per game score in DeMar.
Right.
There's no reason why we shouldn't be producing at a high level. The next point is all the other rookies that were drafted this year have been playing great. I applaud you, Jared McCain, for hometown from Sac. You've been out here repping.
Might be the rookie of the year.
Might be the rookie of the year. Unfortunately, our rookie that we picked, Mr. Devin Carter, has yet to be seen. We don't know where he's at. Where you at, my boy? I mean, you've been injured, I understand, but we ain't seen you. We ain't heard from you yet. We don't know when you're coming back. We would just like to know, when are you going to come and play for us? Can you shoot a couple shots?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Play some defense.
Play some defense. Check into the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just get off the bench, check into the game one time, check back out. That's cool. We're good with that.
Right.
But we really do have to understand because I believe he has a shoulder injury.
Yes.
And if we know anything about shoulder injuries,
it could be ugly.
It could be ugly.
That jump shot
might be a little gang. As we saw with Mr. Markelle Fultz, a former number 1 pick that also came into the league, had a strap. Got into the league, strap gone. Don't know where he placed it. Misplaced the strap.
Out of there.
So I'm hoping, praying that we don't get that same experience with Devin Carter. I believe he's going to be a great player. I believe he does have the ability to run the offense, play great defense, shoot the ball. We see that at Providence. He was killing
38%.
I believe he can be something that can be a very vital point to especially our bench.
Right.
Because our bench right now is probably one of the weakest points of our offense or our team.
Yeah.
Outside of Kevin Horter or Malik Monk, that's it.
And both of them are underproducing.
Right. And both of them are really.
I mean, Malik Monk almost should be flagged for getting that bag and just
disappearing.
Bro. Yo.
Jordan Poole.
Yeah, that is Jordan Poole. 2.0.
And so we're hoping that he's going to he's stepping up. He came back. Timberwolves yesterday, the last game we played with the Timberwolves, he did come in and produce, did some good things. But we definitely need Devin. I don't know what you're doing. Get your trainer growing. Please, at least give us an update on me. Like, hey, I'm planning to come back after the trade deadline. Something, whatever the case is, we need that.
He's the only lottery rookie not to play.
Only lottery rookie that has not got on the court. Hasn't strapped up no shoes. Hasn't tied no shoelaces.
I don't even know who's the sponsor.
Imagine being in the playoff hunt, like a team that's in the playoff hunt, getting the 14th pick, which is relatively good for a team that's, like they were right there to really get in the playoffs, make a run. And imagine getting a guy who doesn't even help you in the whole first half of the season. And we don't even know.
Man.
And we don't even know if when he's coming back.
When he's coming back, we have
so half season, 3/4 season, full season, who knows? So that's crazy. You would imagine. Hopefully, they had some sort of thinking that it was going to be shorter than it ended up being, because that just seems crazy to make a bet on that with that high of a pick.
Right, and the lottery.
When you had guys like Jared McCain sitting there.
Jared McCain, what 16? Like
who shoots the three, which is all you guys need.
All we need that runs into our offense, and you're shooting the leather off that bitch.
Oh my Lord!
I'm talking about top tier, going crazy, 30 points per game. I just saw a stat the other day. They were saying he's averaging the most points as a rookie since Jordan.
Sheesh.
In the last,
he is
going crazy,
and he's efficient. I'm like, damn, like he's not. Yeah, he's a smart player. And he's from Sac, so it's just disrespectful.
Yeah, we just looked over and we were just like, nah, we good.
We're gonna take the injured guy.
Yeah. So we're gonna see. Hopefully that turns around. Hopefully he comes back like Chet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Would be great. If you don't go play this season, maybe you come back next season and just go crazy.
Right.
However, next season is loaded.
Yes.
With that draft class,
you trying to win that?
It is loaded. And unfortunately, we do not have a first round pick.
Crazy work.
We do.
Crazy
We
work.
will have it if we do end up in the lottery. So if we keep playing like buns, then that'll be great. But if we don't end up in the lottery, if we do make that playoff push, because now we're playing both sides. Either we make the playoff push, so we can keep De'Aaron, but we lose our pick. But then if we don't make the playoffs, we keep a pick, and we might be able to get somebody that's solid, you know what I'm saying, or really good actually. Because there's a lot of good guards coming out this year. So if Fox decides to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna sign back, maybe we can pick up, Boogie Flan or Jeremiah Fears at Oklahoma. all these guards that are going crazy right
Dylan
now
Harper.
that look great. Dylan Harper probably won't have a shot because I think Erling's like 12. And I'm sure like, the way he's playing,
He's
he's
top
for
three.
sure like 1 or 2.
Top
Like,
3.
I'd be surprised if he drops below 2. At this point, he is acting a fool out there in Rutgers.
Yeah.
But, Kings, keep our faith. It's early in the season. It's not very late. We still got some time. If we go on a run, we can push ourselves back into that playoff race. Right now, we're sitting at 11, but we're 9-10. I feel we are playing right now tonight, actually. We're talking about it against Portland. If you guys watch this a little bit later. But on the 29th, Black Friday, we're playing against Portland. We should beat them. They don't have their best scorer, top scorer, Anthony Simons. It hasn't really been hooping like that.
What's the score?
What score right now?
Oh, I don't have a score right now, but they're 7-12.
Yeah, they're
Are they
below
playing
us.
right
I know
now?
they're below us for sure
Oh, they're not playing?
in rankings or in the standings currently right now. Even though they do have a good young team, the Portland Trailblazers, we just have too much veteran skill and ability. We have a previous 2 times All-Star. We have 2 All-Stars on the team that's still playing today. They have none. There's no reason why we should lose. We should really bang the Portland Trailblazers out of the gym.
Who would you say is the leader in that locker room for the Sacramento Kings? Because I feel like De'Aaron Fox is more like a show me what you got kind of guy, where I'm gonna put my leadership out there when I'm playing, but when it comes to like the rah guy, who's getting that team excited every night?
You know what? That's a good question because I don't believe we have somebody that fits that mold.
Right, like DeMontis seems like soft spoken. Just the guys.
Is very cool. Laid back.
Malik is like a bench player, so it's like, are we gonna listen to him for real?
He's
Harrison Barnes is like,
he's not even there no more. We let him go.
Yeah,
he's on
the Spurs.
He's on the Spurs. Keegan been chilling. He's a real chill. We don't have that real.
Davion couldn't be like,
and he's doing his thing on Toronto.
Man, we letting everybody going on. So I hope that we can get somebody that can be that, because I think the last person that we did have that solid, loud voice in the locker room was Amon Shumpert.
Yeah.
We let him go for nickels. We like to I don't know why we just keep getting, money.
Nickel and dime.
Like we just broke out here. But
right.
It's not like we're paying nobody for real. So we just going through it. I just looked at the stats just now. Unfortunately, we're down by 4 to the Portland Trailblazers. It doesn't make sense. Keegan, you're over. 0%, brother.
Come on, Kings.
We need you. I mean, it's only De'Aaron and DeMontis out there, and De'Aaron's been DeMontis killing. Fox, there's no reason why.
He's on and off, man. This guy is just.
He had 2 games back to back. I'm gonna give you 105, 60 and 50. Then you're gonna be like, I'm gonna give you 40. I may give you 20 today. Fox, I need consistency, brother.
Something.
Where you at?
Right.
And then, especially when DeMar comes back, then it's like, how are you guys going to coexist? Because, he going to need the ball. You need the ball.
Right.
You're not going to go out there and drop 50 a game. He's not going to go out there and drop 50. So somebody's going to have to, get consistent, get the low 20, 25s, and get some other stats involved.
Yeah.
In there. De'Aaron as a point guard, you should be at least averaging 7.
Man,
ain't no race.
Man,
at least 7 assists a game.
DeMontis got more about
DeMontis is averaging more assists than you at a point.
And he's down this year. And he still leads the team with 6 flat.
Ooh. And that doesn't make sense. That makes no sense. So that's kind of where we're at.
It's because Keegan ain't making his shots.
That might be a lot. That's 4 or 5 assists that you probably missing out. So I guess maybe you need to change out your passing.
Right.
Pick somebody else. Maybe you got to get DeMontis in that pick and roll. Be like, he's finishing.
Right.
Get some assists in there. Bro.
How do you feel about the signing of Jay Crowder?
I think that's a sneaky.
I think that's good.
It's a sneaky sign-in. I feel like it's a good leader, locker room leader that we can lean on. Can be a good defensive presence. Can shoot the 3.
Lots of playoff experience.
Yeah, tons of playoff experience. Been with many teams. So I think he kind of fills in that veteran leadership role that's going to be useful for a lot of our young players And for the players that like a Keegan or whoever that's having an off game or whatever can get up in their skin, get up in their ass, like, hey, you got to step it up. You're supposed to be one of our starters, one of our key players. You can't be playing like this. So hopefully he does come in, provides that extra defense we need off the bench, because defensively we're just not there either. So that's a great sign, I think. Hopefully, as the trade deadline starts to kind of creep up, I've heard and seen things. Of course, the Bulls are
just going to ask you.
Going to blow it up. You guys are going for Lonzo and Vucevic. We'll take Zach. You know what I'm saying? Zach, if you want, you already tried to sign with us before.
Come to the West.
I mean, you might as well come back to us.
Join up with DeMar. Join up with DeMar.
Come back with your running mate. That's just with the Bulls. Come back over to the Kings, same player.
Yeah.
And now we can really get to it.
Right.
I'm just saying. I don't know who we want to give up for that.
Right.
But it would be a fantastic. If we can pull that off, it would be great.
You heard it here first. Bulls GM, give a call. Wholesale. We need it. The West Coast is calling.
Get your money up, Chicago.
Yeah. Come bring your service to the right spot. We'll make it look good. And we'll give you some value back, man. Don't you worry about that, man. We'll make the deal good on our end. But, both teams could use pickups like that. They'd be very serviceable. True upgrades, and maybe the difference maker down the stretch for both of these teams. So we'll make sure we're keeping you in the loop. And like we said, as promised, we're going to start getting Kings Talk in here as much as we can. Here is the first of it, and we'll make sure, again, as the season progresses, we get my man Arick down here to keep dropping them gems. So on to the next. We got a little NCAA hoop to go into right after our little NBA talk. So a little bit of the top players so far, the diaper dandies. Let's talk a little bit about the top players so far. We can mention a couple of the top matchups if we'd like. And then we'll review. I'll have Mitch I'll pull up the most recent mock draft. And we're going to review what's going on with that. And we will tell you guys how we feel about each of those potential picks. All right.
Good.
Top players so far. Arick, who have you seen and liked in NCAA hoop? Why don't you kick us off? Give us a little spiel.
Far, the one that has stayed true to what he's been projected to be and has been impressive so far, I'm going to have to go with Dylan Harper. He has been acting a fool.
Killer.
At all points of time during the season, because Rutgers really wasn't going to be looking like, hey, they got two top freshmen, whatever, but it's Rutgers. There ain't nobody else on that team.
Right.
I'm going to keep it a buck.
Right.
But Dylan has dragged that team on his back. Especially with having Ace Bailey there.
Yeah.
Another top name, right? He still leading the team. He just played against Alabama, who's ranked number 9 in the nation. Gave him 37, 38.
37.
Went crazy. Then the game before that,
39.
Game 39. I'm like, bro, as I heard, and if you see him playing, you can understand he understands the game. He understands how to run the game, what he needs to do to get to his points. He gets to the line. He understands his strengths. He knows how to utilize his team to the fullest ability. And that's why they're always in these games. So that's why he's been the most impressive to me. Just, Ron, you did your thing.
Man.
You did your thing, man.
Woo, Ron.
You got you one.
That's an NBA player's son for sure. You can see that out there.
Definitely.
We've been training like that. I'm going to shout out a non-diaper dandy. This guy, Janai Broome. From Auburn.
Yeah.
This dude has just been an absolute problem. I watched him go up against my Tar Heels. And if you guys know, we are size deficient this year after having 15 years of Armando Bacot.
Holding it down.
Somehow we weren't prepared to have another big after we had him for 15 years. That's
wasn't long enough to find one.
It's like 3 coaching life cycles right there. Come on. But yeah, so we're very similar to the Warriors. We run a lot of turbo packages, 3 guards heavy, but that's not going to take away from me shouting out Janai Broome and what he's been doing. He's been doing it against every team, whether you got a big or not. So happens to be he just ran up against my guys and gave him a 1-2 and a biscuit, and I'm going to take that to go. Got us up out of there, and he has been just dominant. I think he truly could be the player of the year this year. And he'll have to continue doing what he's doing, but I would not be surprised after this run that they went on, these early tournaments, if you see Auburn ranked number 1. They have played real teams, and they have handled them smooth.
Yeah.
With flying colors. And Janai Broom has been a huge factor in that. So, Mitch, how about you?
I mean, you can't go without talking about the man Cooper Flag.
Big dog.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he's
Put the
been
flag
going absolutely
down.
crazy out there. Not too much to be said about a lot of the other players on the Duke team. They have taken a few losses, but that just came with inexperience, especially
Young guys.
kind of seeing so much great highlights of Cooper Flag. You kind of were able to see some of his flaws.
Yeah.
In both the games that they did lose late in the game, it was like a possession for Duke, and Cooper Flag was doing some spin moves, losing the handle of the ball, kind of giving the game away at the very end of both of those games. So it's cool to see him like going through some of the pains of, maybe there still is some more improving I have to do. I was so dominant before, but now, all right, these other teams can't hang. Let me elevate my game. So he's somebody who's actually showed out a lot, but we've been able to see some of the downsides of the learning process. You know what I mean? So Cooper Flag is definitely somebody who's definitely going to be a top 3 pick.
For sure. I think he's guard number 1. It would be something crazy's got to happen for him not to go number 1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just off of almost like IQ matched with skill alone, where they're like, we don't even need tape. We just sit with him.
And seeing him with the USA team playing this summer.
Dominant, man.
He's been dominant. They're already talking about him, so he's going to be a big star. So
very mature for his age. Clearly,
very young, 17.
Yeah. So clearly, he's going to be
in college right now.
Right? Exactly. Some of the top matchups, I can kick it off. I mean, like I said, I've seen a couple really good matchups already. Kansas and North Carolina was a great one. Boy, that sure went down to the end. We lost that. Just like we've lost a couple of these big, brawls with the big boys, as they say. But Hunter Dickerson, another guy that I would mention, if I had another pick to go around, who is, a fifth year, so definitely an older guy. But boy, can the guy hoop, 7-footer, real big. And in college, when you're 7 foot with that kind of size, it really plays.
Kicking boys like Draymond.
Get him, yeah. And somehow they survived that game, which is crazy to survive that one. So that would probably have been my matchup so far. The other one would definitely, that one right there where he kicked him was pretty good. And then I would also say one that was really impressive without it being a great matchup per se was Gonzaga Baylor to kick it off. Gonzaga really put on one of the better offensive performances we may see this year. I think they started off the season with like 93 points or something on Baylor, who's like a good defensive team. It was they've lost since. They've kind of fallen off of that pedestal. For a second there, though, it looked like, is Gonzaga even going to be touched? Like, is anybody even going to – what is going on? Anybody else got any highlights or matchups they want to point out?
Here. For the last game, I was just talking about the Alabama-Rutgers game.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic game. That shocked me. Like I said, the Rutgers team, those 2 freshmen, early on, I was like, all right, I don't know how they're going to do, because we kind of seen it before in the past where you kind of have these highly talented freshmen. They go on these teams that have absolutely no one, i.e. Anthony Edwards, went to Georgia, and he was carrying that team on his back. Now, Georgia wasn't ranked very high, nor I don't think they really did all that well that year. But he was killing. And that's the same thing I was kind of seeing that, like, okay, he going to come in and kill. They're not really going to be able to compete, whatever the case is. But Dylan Harper is a monster. Timothy Johnson. Okay. And just like you were speaking about, Mitch, with Cooper Flag having those late game mishaps, Dylan thrives in the late game.
Yeah.
Like, it comes down to the game is close. He knows, down by 4.6 points, whatever the case is. He knows exactly what we need to do to get on the board. If I need to take it to the rack, I need to draw a foul, I need to draw the defense in and kick it back out for my open man. Whatever the case is, he knows exactly what he needs to do to get a bucket. And he cashes in every time. That game, super impressed. Alabama should have banged them, having the more talented team, I believe, in Aiden Holloway, running point out there. with Mark Sears, who's
Mhm.
another candidate for Pirate Player of the Year. He's out there killing it at Alabama.
Yep.
And he, as a freshman coming in, he handled it smoothly. And
Yeah.
even Ace came in and he played it pretty well too.
Mhm.
I would like to see Ace be more aggressive personally, being a
so
6'10" wing. You're
Mhm.
basically little Paul George.
Right.
Like you
For real.
got a jumper on you, strap, you
Yep.
can handle the ball a little bit, you're super athletic.
Yep.
There's really nobody that should be able to keep up, which is almost like a Cooper Flag.
Yep.
You know, nobody should be able to really stop you from doing what you want to do on the court. So him being a little bit more timid, hopefully he gets more aggressive later on as the season progresses. But Dylan, I can't say enough about that. He's gonna be a goon in the league for real.
He's gonna be a boy.
Yeah.
I would just say, just to finish it off, just the 2 UConn losses.
Oh,
Against Colorado and I forget who else they lost.
The first
to,
one was
it was back-to-back losses.
Yeah.
I know it's only about 1 or 2 points each game, but that was just interesting to see how Dan Hurley was reacting, especially
Memphis.
the post-game loss to Memphis as well. So how will UConn bounce back? Was this just a couple of games where just the ball didn't bounce their way towards the end? Or is this something that, maybe this team is not as well equipped as the last couple of years?
Right. And they just lost most recently to Dayton as well. So they're
Yeah,
now
they just lost to
4-3.
Man.
So definitely not the defensive team that people thought they were. And things have been a little rough. I will say one of the other good matchups was Iowa State versus Auburn. Iowa State this year, somehow the Cyclones, seem to be really good in a lot of different sports, and so they played a good one. I think Kentucky already had a good matchup this year as well.
Yeah,
Duke,
Duke.
that's right. They beat Duke, and that was a really good matchup. So those would be the ones that I would highlight. They've both highlighted some great matchups as well. And before we get out of the NCAA hoops section, obviously we got to give a shout out to Cal, and then we're going to look over, like we said, the mock draft and just kind of give you guys a review beyond the players that we just mentioned here because we were only able to mention a few. If you haven't checked out Cal basketball, it's worth it to do it now before this record gets any worse. 6-1. We look great. It sounds great. Let's talk about it. Peja Stojakovic's kid, Andre Stojakovic. I think that's how you say it. Maybe just Andre. I don't know. He's going off. Young guy, 5-star, transferred from Stanford. Love to see it. Next game, 12-3, December 3rd, versus Missouri, who's also 6-1. So that's going to be the first real test we see there. But, if you haven't checked them out, check them out. So, yeah, if you could pull up the mock, my boy's going to pull up this mock real fast. And we're going to get into it, see what there is to review.
All right. We got our top picks. Ooh, it says Philadelphia is going to finish with the first.
They do have the worst record right now.
Are playing like some buns.
City of brotherly scrubs.
Joel and PG are nowhere to be found.
We got guys like Cooper Flag that we've mentioned.
Number 1.
Of course.
Igor Demon.
Did I not say he's riding that?
Big
I told you, bro.
He did tell me that.
I told you. 6'9" from Russia. 6'9" from Russia. 6'9" from Russia. Plays point guard. Originally was slated that the Warriors thought that they were going to trade up at like 13, 14 before he started to really gain this. We're in love with this kid. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. The dude is he's the real deal.
Yeah. He's really like that.
Then obviously we got Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, like we've talked about.
Is it Ace Bailey first and then?
Yeah, it's
wow,
Ace Bailey and then Dylan
I
Harper.
can't condone that right
it's
now.
The potential, man.
Right, 6'10" or 6'9",
Yeah,
6'10"
with a
wingspan,
strap,
probably
6'7", jump out.
But Harper's what, 6'6"?
Yep. Harper 6'6", yep, 215.
He's in that K.
Playing point guard.
That K Cunningham.
Yep.
Got a
Nolan
James
Traore.
Harden body.
Yep.
Nolan Traore from France. The 6'4" point guard.
Yep.
Big. He plays big too.
Yep.
Plays big. Smart guy.
Next we got Boogie Flan.
Yeah.
Really?
Boogie's doing his thing.
Boogie's really. Boogie's up the boards like this.
Wow.
Wow.
One of the Baylor cats.
VJ.
6'5" VJ Edgecombe.
Edgecombe.
Doing this thing.
Beast. Super athletic.
Yeah.
Then over in Texas, we got the boy
Trey
Johnson.
Yeah.
Savage. What I say?
6'6".
Cold gunner.
He's cold out there.
Cold
And,
Gunner.
my boy from Georgia, Asanuel.
Yeah, big boy.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Forward
We'll
action.
take him on the Warriors.
Liam McNeely.
Yeah,
Yep.
sniper.
From UConn.
Sniper.
6'7".
Shooter.
We got a small
Shooter.
forward there.
Shooter.
Excuse me on the pronunciation
Where
here.
was he going, Liam?
Liam 10 to the Pacers. Yeah, 10 to the Pacers.
Yeah, you got to read off some of these
Draft
names.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to read off some of the teams with it so that we know.
Okay.
Because
So
then the fit will be like, yeah.
we had Trey Johnson to Portland, 6'6" shooting
Okay.
guard.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
a lot of guards, though.
Yeah, it is a lot of wings and guards.
All right, run it back to the beginning. So we got my back. We're running it back. We got it.
Well, this is based off the
Yeah,
standings
projections.
right now.
No guarantees.
At the moment.
We just giving you what
Philly.
we know.
Philly winning the lottery
And getting Cooper.
flag.
Okay, so bye-bye, Joel.
Igor going to Washington.
Oh, God.
Dang, I feel bad.
Oh.
Maybe he can turn it around like Dallas.
Oh,
You
God.
never know.
You're breaking my heart.
Next, we got Ace Bailey to Toronto.
Came up with RJ.
going
RJ
crazy.
and Scotty?
And Emmanuel?
Ooh,
This is
RJ
a lot
and
of
big
Scotty,
boys.
lots of wingies.
lots of wings, no guards.
They got Jacob Podol.
Emmanuel quickly.
Somebody
And
got to
he's
leave.
like
Yeah,
a
RJ
fake
and
guard.
RJ gonna have to go.
And he's gonna get
They got to get rid of RJ.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
Yeah.
All right.
So a team that we could trade with, Utah Jazz, Dylan Harper going to Utah Jazz.
Oh, that's a
Damn, that's
great pick.
First of all, he would go dumb there.
He would go crazy.
He would be like a bigger Deron Williams again.
Yeah.
Woo!
Bigger Deron Williams.
Wow.
Keontae George out
Smart
there.
guy,
Yeah.
coach's son type hype.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Utah would love him too. They
Yeah,
would
they
trick
would.
everybody he's white.
New Orleans going with the Frenchman Nolan Traore,
Okay.
Yeah.
6'4".
Go ahead and pick up their next point guard in the future. You go
They
behind
need that. They've
Dejounte.
been slacking at that.
Yeah.
Then we got Charlotte in Boogie Flan.
Ooh,
I don't know how
about
that would work.
Yeah. If they don't keep LaMelo,
I don't know.
I don't know how that's going to
He's
work.
a point.
Yeah, he's a point. 6'2"
He's a
boys.
point.
Yeah, nah, that ain't. Yeah, Charlotte doesn't know what they're doing over there. That gives me
Yeah.
Terry Rozier vibes.
I mean, it's Mike
Yeah.
Jordan making these picks. He
Or
hasn't
even
been doing good for
Malik
a long
Monk.
time.
yeah, they always do this.
They picked him up. And
They
just
always
put
get a
behind
small
Kemba.
two.
And I was like, why would you put him behind
So
Kemba?
grimy. What is the thought process?
Then we got Chicago with VJ Edgecombe.
Okay. The next coming to Jordan.
That's fair.
VJ Edgecombe.
That's
Next
fair.
coming to D-Wade.
That's fair to go with Matas Buzelis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we
I
got
like that.
Trey Johnson to Portland.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
I
That's
feel
a
like
lot of
they could
guards
do better,
again.
but yeah,
That's not bad.
because they don't need a strat. Like, I mean, that's like
really
shade
is.
on again.
Mhm.
All right,
Just what better.
Asanul
two.
to the Knicks at number 9.
After they just got Cat.
I heard some crazy things about Cat though. Remember we talked about that.
We might get out of
Asa Newell.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
For their timeline, I think that's a tradable pick. I also don't know. Obviously, I don't think the Knicks will end up that high.
Yeah.
Right,
I
it's
don't
clear.
get it.
But okay, go ahead.
Then we got the Pacers going with Liam McNeely.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
just like another
Another
random
shooter.
pick.
Go with,
I mean,
go with
he's
it.
taller than people think. He's like 6'8",
6'7",
6'8".
Yeah.
210. So we got
Doesn't move
Jaleel
that well though.
Berthea
Oh yeah.
Nice.
from Miami going
Nice.
to the Spurs.
He going.
Ooh,
Spurs.
shit.
Yeah, that's a
Step
nice
out
pickup.
Castle.
That's a nice pickup, Brian.
And
That's a nice
Stephon
backcourt.
Because he got handled.
Yeah, you do.
Ethel got handled.
He
And so
like that.
he's got basically what Stephen Castle don't got.
Yes.
He got the extra,
Yeah,
yeah.
the little, ha ha.
Yeah.
Let me come get him.
Pep in your step.
That backcourt, nice.
Wow.
If they get that
With
backcourt gonna
Vicky
be crazy.
too? Boy, Big Vic.
That's gonna be nasty.
Whew. Then Dallas from the G League getting Dink Pate.
I actually know
Young
this super
Dinky.
athletic,
Yeah,
super athletic dude. Looks like he
guard.
came from like basketball Senegal or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Ooh.
But he is the guy is just super bouncy. I don't know who he reminds me of because he's like super skinny too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like he's I wouldn't say Tony Snell, but he has that kind of.
We'll see, because that G League, that G League 9 or whatever, because he was on that G League 19.
Yeah, that's like the fakest hoop on earth.
Right.
Yeah.
That team shut down probably while he was playing.
Yeah, he did. They're like, go ahead and shut that down. Really, it's just no more.
Hey Dink, hey Dink,
This ain't working out.
hey
Yeah,
Dink,
it's
we're
like-
gonna go Dink this way. Come on, Dink it
It's
down.
Atlanta at 13 with LeBaron Fallon
Cole
from
from Alabama. Yep.
Yeah,
Point
He's
guard.
the one off the bench.
I didn't even know he's a freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falon, dang, he's nice.
He's nice as hell, too.
He be talking a lot.
14, we got the Clippers, Jelon Lowe from Pittsburgh, point guard.
Oh,
Huh?
I haven't heard of
Is he a
it.
freshman?
I had to dig that up.
I haven't heard it in sophomore.
Huh?
Mm.
We'll have to look into my
Yeah.
boy. What is it? Javon Lowe will get to you, buddy.
Jalon
Lowe.
Jalon Lowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll slide.
Shawty Lowe.
Yeah.
Brooklyn at 15. Who are they going with? They're going with Will Riley from Illinois. Will Riley rising up the boards.
Wow. From Illinois.
Freshman, small forward.
Okay.
Then San Antonio.
He is nice.
Will Riley?
Will Riley is
Will
nice.
Riley,
I
okay.
do. Yep. He's cold.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we got San Antonio with another pick coming in with Isaiah Evans from Duke. Isaiah Evans, 6'6", shooting guard, small forward.
What?
Yeah,
Does he even get any burn?
No burn.
No burn.
That's why I'm surprised that he's in there that high. He do got a strap though, but I'm surprised he's
6'6" and gets no burn.
I feel like he's
freshman.
going back.
That's crazy that he don't get.
He might go back.
I feel like
these aren't definite.
he
This
might
right now at
go
the
back.
beginning of the season.
For sure.
Then we got Detroit at 17 going Ian Jackson from the boys at North
UNC.
Carolina.
I'm shocked that he'd get picked over Drake Powell.
Right.
Drake Powell is. I love Ian Jackson, but Drake Powell is, to me, way nicer and 6'8" and actually has more of a strap on him. It's a slower jumper, but anyway. Let me digress.
Oklahoma City will get Con Canupo.
Dude, no.
Shooter.
You can't let that kind of guy fall to the Thunder. That's dumb.
Shooters.
That's all they need.
That's all I need.
If they get a Canupo or whatever his name is, bro, no.
Another shooter.
I was waiting. I was like, where's his name?
Yeah, I thought Con.
We calling up Isaiah Evans? We're not doing that. Okay.
Orlando at 19 getting Noah Esingu from France.
Yeah, he's nice too, I think.
6'10".
Yeah, big
power
guy.
forward, small forward.
Yeah.
He could be a beast. Another Frenchie coming over. We're getting a lot of Frenchmen in the NBA these days. Memphis at 20 with JT Toppin. Young Obi Toppin, little bro.
Yeah. He's been doing his thing.
6'9".
He's been doing his thing too. Where's he at right now?
He's
like
with
third.
Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech.
He's going off.
Next, we got Houston at 21, getting that boy Andre Stojakovic from the
Ooh.
University
Whoa!
of California. He's
That was
nice.
nice.
They need shooters. They need shooters.
They need that.
I want him to come to the Dubs.
Right? The Dubs do not have a pick until 28.
But at
That's
least
what
we're
it's
in
saying.
it.
So
Yeah,
that
right.
means deep into the playoff run they're expecting from us.
If you don't hurt it, then you ain't hurt the Kings yet, guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's not coming.
It's not.
I need to. Find a way, y'all.
Yeah, whatever with these other picks. Let's just go to the Warriors at 28, saying we're going to get Jackson Robinson from Kentucky, 6'6", senior.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
I don't know if we're going to go with that one.
He
Nah.
hasn't been hooping like he needs to be
Senior.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Looking rough. I'd rather we go with somebody like Mackenzie Mbako from
Yeah.
Indiana.
Right.
I
I'd
think
go
he would
with
be
that too.
nice.
Right.
He'd be a perfect kind of player that we like to get. But yeah, I mean that's the pretty much the lottery and some extras on top of it. You know,
Give me Cam Jones, man, from Marquette, bro.
Cam Jones, the Marquette boys.
Lights
Ballers.
out shooter, though. That's my boy, man. Straight cold gunner.
Mm-hmm.
Straight cold gunner. Anyway, so that'll wrap it up right there for our NBA and NCAA section, aka the round ball that bounces and goes into the bucket. Hey, we got y'all covered, and don't worry, we got plenty more coming as the season goes on. Lastly, we got a little MLB, just a little flavor that makes my face go like this. I was going to say something that was going to be even wittier, but the fact that this even happened has left me with not much to go off. So I'll let Mitch drop the bomb to Mitch bomb, and we'll move on.
The Los Angeles Dodgers were not done winning championships. They're looking for more. They went and got Blake Snell off the free agency, 5 years, $182 million. They're just bolstering that already solid pitching staff. They're going to have Shohei Ohtani. They're going to have Tyler Glass now. They're going to have Yamamoto. They're going to have Dustin May if he comes back solid. So
Snell. Yeah.
They could still be going for Roki Sasaki, the other Japanese pitcher that's coming out as a free agent this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be stacked. if they even want Walker Buehler back,
I was gonna
they
say
can try and get him back.
Yeah.
So their rotation's looking nasty. Who knows who else they're going to be able to sign? If they just go and get Juan Soto, it might just be a wrap for the next few years. The league is just going in LA.
Right.
So,
Get a payroll. Get a payroll, man. You know what I mean? We gotta have limitations on this stuff.
It's looking rough for all these other teams.
Bro, cap it off, man. Payroll caps. You know what I mean? Like
it's looking like soccer. I mean, it's the same thing in Europe.
Yeah.
They just if you got it, we'll take you.
That's true. It's true.
It's tough out here for these other MLB teams, especially the teams like the Rays and the A's that spend about $40 million total on the whole team.
Man.
Right.
When you got guys, the other teams shelling out $700 million for multiple guys, it's hard to compete out there. But Dodgers making more splashes. It's just the beginning of the offseason, so we'll see what comes up next. I'm sure they're not done.
So with that being said, rip my Giants. You know what I mean? Just another big slash to the once beautiful statue that was SF baseball, and that is now fallen to the floor. Not surprised that he's left, just more surprised that everybody seems to go to LA, that they have enough roster space and money to keep shoveling this stuff out.
Man.
I will say FIFA's corrupt, but at least they had FIFA Fair Play where they'd come in and make you sell off some guys, make you move off guys. And it does seem like the Dodgers have found a loophole with this whole deferring money. Like they just signed Tommy Edman, $75 million, 5-year deal for honestly a guy who's good, but like he got $75 million, and it's because everything but I think $10 million is deferred till after the contract anyway.
They're gonna be paying people until 2050 that plan.
And so it's like MLB, you got to step in and figure something out because that's a loophole that's like
that's crazy.
That's like a corporation corruption there. You know what I mean? That's going to lead to just much bigger issues overall. And like we're seeing, I don't know how teams are going to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, what do you do when the best team
keeps getting the best players
is just continually doubling back and taking from all the other teams that would potentially give what little competition is left in the league, a shot. So that'll do it for today. Like we said, we got more coming next week. Make sure you tune in. Like and subscribe to content. There's that beautiful red button as we ask. If you don't mind, take the time, make a click, comment and subscribe. We're obviously going to get Arick back here. For all you King community, if you got anything to add in there, please drop a comment down there for us. Put something down there. We'll check it all. So we'll be back next week. Thank y'all for coming today. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.